Welcome to All About Palm Springs. I'm Ellis Posner, and in this video, I'm going to take you on a tour of 7 iconic Palm Springs mid-century neighborhoods. Now, some of them, like Vista Las Palmas, where I'm standing now, you might be familiar with. Others are real hidden gems. And if you're thinking of buying a home in Palm Springs, I'm going to show you a couple of neighborhoods where I think the value is really great right now. If it turns out you have some further interest in any of these neighborhoods, I am posting about them separately on this channel where I go into a much deeper dive. This is just kind of an overview so I could tell you a little bit about where they are in the history and just a way to kind of start to dip your toe in the water. Now you might ask, how did I define mid-century neighborhood? What do I mean by that? Isn't there mid-century architecture all over Palm Springs? Yeah, Palm Springs is the mid-century capital of the world, right? Well, I'm looking for neighborhoods specifically where maybe the homes were built by the Alexander Construction Company or Roy Fay or Jack Meiselman. The architects were William Krisel or Donald Wexler. And even in any of these neighborhoods, you're not going to see 100% mid-century. There's going to be some other homes that were built, but it's the vibe. It's like you feel like you're in a time machine or a museum or something. If you're an aficionado of these kind of houses, I think you're really going to like what I'm going to be showing you here. We're going to start in the south end of Palm Springs and we're going to work our way back up here to Vista Las Palmas. And before we jump in the car and get ready for butterfly roofs and clerestory windows and desert landscaping and breezeways, a couple of housekeeping things. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, you might want to hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with all about Palm Springs. And if you are looking to buy a home in Palm Springs, yes, I am a Palm Springs real estate broker. You can find my contact information throughout the channel. I'll leave it in the comments and the descriptions. Feel free to reach out. People contact me from all over the country, all over the world, whether they're buying next month or next year or retiring in 5 years. I'm here. I'm your feet on the ground, and I've been selling California real estate for decades. We're going to start the tour at Twin Palms Estates in South Palm Springs. We're starting here because this is where the Alexander Construction Company started building what at the time were called modern homes. And part of the genius of William Krisel designing these is that they were very cost effective to build. That was also a lot of the attraction for the Alexanders. So you see these butterfly roofs and you see some other different roof lines. Well, inside the floor plan is the same. So, if you see, let's say this one, a little variation on the butterfly roof, the one next door, you're going to have the living room, dining room, kitchen on one side of the house, and you're going to have the 3 bedrooms on the other side. You're going to see in the back the walls of glass for the California indoor outdoor lifestyle. And these homes were about 1,600 square feet when they were built on approximately 10,000 square foot lots, quite large. And originally, this neighborhood was called Smoke Tree Ranch Estates. But then, because there were those 2 palms in front of the houses, uh, there you see some there. Um, they changed it to Twin Palms Estates or Twin Palms, not to be confused with Frank Sinatra's house in the movie Colony East, also called Twin Palms. Yeah, that's kind of a Palm Springs thing, right? So again, different roof lines, and there's about 628 properties in Twin Palms. Now, all of them are not original Chrysler and Alexanders. You have also the Acatilla Lodge with condos there. I love these circular kind of driveways, and wow, I love that Porsche. Yeah, cool, cool, cool. Um, I'm a car guy. So anyway, it's about 628 properties. And when I reference the number of homes in any of these communities we're going to tour, that's taken directly from the Palm Springs website where they're referencing how many short-term permits there are. Right now, at the time of this video, you still are below the 20% permit allowance for Twin Palms. So if you bought one of these and wanted to do short-term rental, you could at the time of doing this video, potentially. But if that's in your plans, if you buy a home in Twin Palms or anywhere else in Palm Springs, you really need to do your due diligence and check the Palm Springs website. Um, I'm going to drop a link to that in the description of the comments, depending on how much room I have. Okay, I want to show you where this is on the map, and I'm going to put a link to this in the description. So Twin Palms is down here. It's not all the ways out of Palm Springs. You still got Andreas Hills and Indian Canyons and Canyon Corridor below it. Um, it's pretty far south of Ramon Road, and here's East Palm Canyon Drive running down here. This is it, Twin Palms. That's where it is. Okay, the next neighborhood we're going to look at, Little Beverly Hills, is one I consider a real hidden gem. Now, a lot of Palm Springs home buyers have started to ask me about this one, maybe because it's been featured on their Modernism Week tour, but it doesn't seem like it's been really discovered by the flippers that much yet. So there's still some good opportunities here. This neighborhood started out life as the Ramon Rise Estates. And then somewhere along the line, people realized that a lot of the streets have the same names as the ones in Beverly Hills. So, okay, now it's Little Beverly Hills. Cool. Um, if you're thinking of buying one of these and it's one that's in more the original condition, there's a lot of things you really have to consider. Let me kind of mention some of those, and they're relevant to whether it's this neighborhood or any of the neighborhoods where you're going to find these mid-century properties. So just remember, when you're talking about homes built in the 50s and 60s, they could be like 60, 70 years old now, and they can need a lot of work. I mean, now I know what it's like to have been born in the 50s. Anyway, these houses are old. And if they haven't been updated and remodeled, you might be putting in a new roof. You might be putting in new insulation, new HVAC. You might need a sewer line update, other plumbing updates. Windows can be really expensive, and windows take a beating in our desert kind of climate. So, if you're buying an original one, I have clients who've bought homes in Palm Springs that they've remodeled, and they've easily dumped a couple $100,000 into them. And obviously, if it's one that's been updated, it's going to be costing you more to buy it. So it's kind of pick your poison, but the homes have a lot of charm and they're really great, but they're old. I have a lot of charm, but I'm young at heart. So, Little Beverly Hills is one of the smaller neighborhood organizations and organized neighborhoods. Palm Springs website lists 211 homes there. And originally, the 40 acres were divided up to 84 lots, plus home for maybe another room for another 22 lots fronting Ramon Road. Kind of interesting things in the history here. Meiselman was involved, and the Alexander Construction Company came in and bought 64 lots. And when they sold in 1957 and 58, they were priced between 18,950 and 19,775. So even though Krisel at one point walked away from this project because of a dispute with one of the Alexander's business partners, the Ramon Rise floor plan, which he created for this community, subsequently became used in Sunmore and Sunrise Park, which we're going to be seeing next. And there were six exterior styles ultimately created here: the El Dorado, the Enchantment, Fiesta, Fleetwood, Flat, Fleetwood, and Suburba. The Enchantment was drawn by Krisel and was the furnished model that was available at the time. Um, so the Alexanders brought in another architect, uh, Richard Leach, if that's how you pronounce it, and I guess there were some other ones that were vying for the project, but that's who they ultimately went with. Okay, let's take a look and see where the Little Beverly Hills neighborhood is. So it's right here. It is little, right to the west of Demuth Park, south of Ramon Road, south of the airport. Downtown is over here. So, good location, centrally located, and not a lot of homes there. If you could find one, whether it's been remodeled or it's one that you would do the remodeling on, well worth it. I think Little Beverly Hills is a real hidden gem of Palm Springs real estate. The next stop on our tour of 7 mid-century modern neighborhoods in Palm Springs is going to be Sunrise Park. And while not quite a hidden gem, it's kind of one that's hiding in plain sight. So a lot of people looking to buy homes in Palm Springs will ask me about this neighborhood because there are a lot of mid-century modern homes there. And where it is, it's between Alejo to the north, Ramon Road to the south, Farrell Drive on the east, and Sunrise Way on the west. So it's pretty centrally located. It's about, a mile from the airport or less than a mile, and about a mile to downtown and all those restaurants. Again, close to Demuth Park and other things you want to do. And you're going to see some really great mid century modern and ranch style homes here. It's also a couple of condo communities and apartment buildings. So let's drive around and I'll tell you some more. So, like lots of other neighborhoods in Palm Springs, Sunrise Park started out with a different name. It was originally Desert Palm Estates. And the Alexander Company, again, was very preeminent in building there. And I mentioned when we were in Little Beverly Hills, the Ramon Rise floor plan. They used that floor plan as well in Sunrise Park. And it was part of their they call it the Enchanted Homes Project. Um, so we'll talk about that some other time when I'm talking about more about the architecture and not the neighborhoods. Also, Jack Meiselman, who at one point I believe did work for the Alexanders, when he had his own company, they built homes in Sunrise Park as well as some other neighborhoods we're going to visit. You'll see some in Racket Club Estates when we get up there. And these homes when they were built were around $20,000, and today they're all worth a lot more. I haven't seen a lot or very many flippers yet. There's some in Sunrise Park, so again, still offers a good opportunity if you want to either buy something that's already been redone or you're looking for something you could buy in Palm Springs and redo yourself. Let's take a look at where Sunrise Park is on the 1PS map application. And as you see, this is pretty large. And it's one of the larger neighborhood organizations. I think 1,126 homes there, and they've not yet maxed out the short-term rental permits, at least at the time I'm doing this video. So just let's say compared to Twin Palms, which we visited, Sunrise Park is larger compared to Little Beverly Hills. Kind of fit Little Beverly Hills right down there. Um, some of it gets close to the airport, uh, not as close as Sunmore, which we're going to visit next. Might start to hear some airport noise over here. But again, good central location, and I think a great opportunity for Palm Springs home buyers. Okay, next up we have Sunmore Estates. And this is another rather small kind of neighborhood. And it's a little bit to the east of Sunrise Park where we just were. So again, might be a little bit noisier with the airport. It's bordered by the Palm Springs City Hall and the International Airport on the east, Farrell Drive on the west, East Tamarisk, and Andreas Road on the north and south, respectively. So while Sunmore is known as being an Alexander kind of community, and it certainly is. In fact, they named some of the streets after the family members, but I won't get into that. Some of the first homes there were built by Bob Higgins, and then the Alexanders came in and built many, many more homes. Okay, let's take a look at where Sunmore is on the 1PS neighborhood web map application. And I am going to put a link to this in the description of the comments so you can check out this map with all the neighborhood organizations in Palm Springs. Sunmore's over here, a little bit east of Sunrise Park, kind of directly north of Little Beverly Hills, north and to the east of Twin Palms. Very much central Palm Springs, but it is closer to the airport. So, it's an airport, it's an international airport. You may hear some noise. Great neighborhood. It's one of the smaller ones, only 140 homes there. And if you're thinking of short term rental, it is maxed out right now at the time of this video. so won't be able to get a short-term rental permit there. As I've mentioned in other of my videos, those permits do not transfer on purchase. You have to apply again, and some neighborhoods do have a waiting list. Okay, we've done 4 of the 7 neighborhoods, 3 more coming, and I think you're really going to like these. Hopefully you like the 4 I just showed you, and if you do, hit that subscribe button. And the next 3, one's going to be a hidden gem. Another one is going to be one you might be familiar with, particularly if you've ever done a short-term rental in Palm Springs. And the last one is going to be my absolute favorite Palm Springs neighborhood, and actually my favorite neighborhood in the world. So I'm pretty excited about the rest of this video. But first, I'm going to get some hot tea so I don't lose my voice. And while I'm doing that, I'm just going to run one of my kind of promotional pieces. So bear with me, got to try to make a living here, right? Hi, I'm Ellis Posner. I'm a real estate broker in Palm Springs, California, and I've been selling real estate in Southern California for multiple decades. I've worked with hundreds of buyers and sellers in all price ranges during all kind of market conditions, and I want to work with you too when the time is right. Now, one thing that makes Palm Springs real estate different than any other market in the U.S. is that a lot of the people buying homes here for second homes, vacation homes, or even full-time residences may not live locally. But I'm local, and I can go out and preview properties for you. I can do walkthrough videos. I can put you in touch with all the resources you need for a successful and smooth transaction. So when the time is right, feel free to reach out. My contact info is all over the channel. It's in the description. It's in the comments. I'm easy to get a hold of. I'm very available to help you. Okay, I'm back, and we're going to continue in El Rancho Vista Estates, which really is an amazing hidden gem, as far as I'm concerned, in Palm Springs of mid-century modernism. So this one's a little bit different because it's not an Alexander neighborhood per se. This was designed by Wexler and Harrison, and it was built by Roy Fay, so a little bit different there, and it was more like a little bit later than the others, around in 1960. El Rancho Vista Estates has been discovered by the flippers, and a lot of these homes have been redone. You'll see as we drive around, there's even some work going on now. And it's at the corner of Vistachino and Gene Autry, so still a little bit in the windy area, and it's right just northeast of the airport. So I've never heard a lot of noise when I was there, but I'm going to guess if the airport expands further, it could be noisy. El Rancho Vista Estates has a number of open different floor plans, and you see some butterfly roofs, of course, and flat roofs, and then something else called a turn down eave, which became kind of a thing that Harrison did later on in his career, and he actually lived in this neighborhood. There's only 112 homes here, and many of them do have short-term rental permits, and there's only 2 ways in and out, one on Vistachino, one on Gene Autry, and there's just one main road, and the other roads are all cul-de-sacs off of that main road. Okay, I want to show you where El Rancho Vista Estates is on the 1PS map. You see we're kind of up here north of the northeast of the airport, right over here. And so before we were in Sunrise Park, then we were in Sunmore, Rancho Vista Estates. Uh, Little Beverly Hills is down here further on the map over here. And if we go down even further, Twin Palms was down here. So we started at Twin Palms, went here, came over to Sunrise Park, Sunmore, and now we're over here at Rancho Vista Estates. And our next stop is going to be Racket Club Estates, which has kind of an odd shape, right? Look at that shape of that neighborhood. I don't exactly know how they came up with that, but okay. Before we do that, let's just drive around El Rancho Vista Estates one more time. Our next stop is in Racket Club Estates, which is in the north end of Palm Springs, north of Vistachino, where it's windier. I know because I live north of Vistachino in Mirrorline. And a lot of people know Racket Club Estates because there's a lot of short-term rentals there. So if you've kind of been on Airbnb looking for something authentic mid-century, you may have found it right there in Racket Club Estates. In fact, with 537 homes in that neighborhood organization, there's, at the time of this video, 36% of them have short-term rental permits. And what's going on in Racket Club Estates, to me, is kind of a microcosm of what is going on more broadly in the Palm Springs real estate market. So here's what I mean by that. There's a video I have on this channel. I'll put a link to it up here about the rebalancing or the asset rebalancing, inventory rebalancing going on in Palm Springs. And what has happened, and very emblematic of what's happened in Racket Club Estates, a lot of people came in very speculatively and bought homes, either to flip, maybe to hold for a little while and use for Airbnb and to then sell it, or just to use it as a short-term rental, thinking they're going to make a lot of money. And while that seemed to be the trend that was going on for a couple of years, well, a lot of people got too greedy and maybe it didn't work out like that. So, with 537 homes in Racket Club Estates and 195 having short-term rental permits and 25 on the wait list, it's kind of a buzzkill for anyone that's thinking of buying a house there that they might want to do short-term rental at, and it's put a lot of downward pressure on prices, with some really kind of trading hands now for what I think are pretty good prices. So if you're in the market, Palm Springs real estate, and you're not thinking of doing short-term rental, and you love mid-century modern, you might want to check out Racket Club Estates. And I'm going to tell you why now from a real estate perspective. So unlike a lot of the other neighborhoods, which were, you know, more all Alexanders, or the Harrison Wexler neighborhoods, or where Meiselman did more, you find four things going on here. You have Alexanders, you have Meiselmans, you have Wexler Steel Homes, and you have something they called all season ranch homes, which was something that the um, Alexander Company did. So there's a lot of variation of what you see in mid-century here. The Wexler steel homes, which I had at the beginning of this segment, are really fascinating. You see some of the folded plate roofs, and then you got, of course, the Alexanders, and you've got examples of Jack Meiselman's as well. And if you drive around and get familiar with these, you actually kind of recognize what the difference are, particularly if you drive around with me, which you can do if you're my client. Otherwise, you're just watching my videos, I guess. I want to talk about some of the differences between the Meiselman homes and the Alexanders, because there are certain differences, even though they can look similar on the exterior when you first see them. So the Meiselman homes generally have a master suite separate from the other guest rooms, which a lot of the Alexander homes have the three bedrooms on one side. Also, the windows might be different. There's clerestory windows, but the ones near the roof line are smaller and shorter than you might find in the Alexander homes. A lot of times, the location and placement of the Meiselmans are different from the Alexanders. Um, and you find also that at the time, the Meiselman houses included furnace and AC, which wasn't always a feature with the Alexanders. So that's a little bit about the difference of those. So about the Alexanders in Racket Club Estates, they are smaller than the ones in Twin Palms, which we looked at the very beginning of the video. Typically, they're around 1,200 some odd square feet. Um, the carports or the garages were carports. A lot of people have enclosed them now, or at least put garage doors on them. And some people have taken some of the space between the houses and made that into more kind of living space. So again, great neighborhood, location's great, uh, very much in demand. And if you're looking to buy a home in Palm Springs and you want something quote unquote affordable, and you want that MCM vibe, well, Racket Club Estates, check it out. check it out together. So let's look at where Racket Club Estates is found. It's in the north end of Palm Springs, right here with that irregular shape I showed you before. Here's the 10 up here. Here's 111 here. So if you're coming from LA or San Diego, a little bit closer on your commute, um, airport's down here. This is downtown area. And let's see, we were Racket Club Estates. We were at El Rancho Vista Estates. We were at Sunrise Park, Sunmore. Little Beverly Hills is down here, and then Twin Palms here. So we've gone from south to north, and now we're going to one more neighborhood, which is over here, and let's go do that. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at my favorite neighborhood anywhere in the world, and that's Vista Las Palmas. Often you see I use this neighborhood as a backdrop in my videos, and you've heard me say elsewhere how much I like it. Well, let me tell you why. Really unique. First of all, the setting is extraordinary. As close as it is to the mountains, talk about mountain views. You got the mountains almost in your backyard here, and that's really just stunning and gorgeous. It's walkable to downtown, to uptown Palm Springs, and look at this lush landscaping. Really great neighborhood with some of the largest floor plans of mid-century modern homes you're going to find anywhere. Vista Las Palmas, I love it. What you'll often hear is that the Alexander Company built 330 homes here, but these days on the Palm Springs website, they list the number of homes as 397. Of the Alexander homes, half of them were designed by Krisel and Palmer, the other half by Charles Dubois. Krisel and Palmer did the typical butterfly roofs and some folded plate, and Charles Dubois is known for the Swiss Miss A-frames. You see those a lot of times in my videos. And a lot of celebrities lived here over the years, and Bob Alexander of the Alexander Company had the House of Tomorrow, the most Instagrammable house in Palm Springs, built right here, designed by Krisel. Yeah, that's it right there, the House of Tomorrow, also known as Elvis Presley's honeymoon hideaway, and I got a video about that right on this channel. Let me put a link up here. Homes in Vista Las Palmas are some of the most expensive in Palm Springs, and even at a couple of $1 million, people sometimes do down to the studs remodels and spend another $1 million, but well worth it to live here. All right, before we head on out, let me just show you Vista Las Palmas on the map. It's right here, and I tried to show the whole map of all of Palm Springs. We still can go further down here to Andreas Hills, the very far end south, and coming up here, Upper West Side. And Vista Las Palmas, you can walk to here is the Uptown Design District, 849, some other restaurants, Ernst Coffee, coffee. Here's Alejo, which divides uptown and downtown. The Thompson Hotel's right on that corner. I don't know why they call it neighborhood Midtown, but it's downtown. And then yeah, you got Old Las Palmas next to it, which is equally, if not more expensive. And those homes tend to be more Spanish hacienda type, even though I have seen some nice modern homes there, including the West residence that was owned by Adam West of Batman fame. Let's take a look at that one up here. And then, of course, the Dinosaur Leonardo DiCaprio house is also in Old Las Palmas. A lot of celebrities lived in Old Las Palmas over the world. But Vista Las Palmas, that's kind of my jam. That's what I like. Okay, that was my tour of 7 iconic mid-century Palm Springs neighborhoods, MCM real estate. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed doing it. This is a labor of love for me, and passionate about doing these videos. Much better real estate broker than I am a videographer. I film everything myself, edit it myself, and again, I love doing this. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, I hope you did. And if you have any questions about buying or selling a home in Palm Springs, whether your time frame is next week, next month, next year, or whenever, feel free to reach out. And if you haven't done so already, come on, subscribe. It's not too late. You can do it.